Would you like to learn from those that are taking their lives, their businesses, and their passions to the next level? Best-selling author of Speakeasy and master connector Lou Diamond is here to connect you to some of the most inspiring and amazing people on this planet. Get ready to thrive loud with Lou Diamond.
My mama told me when I was young, we're all born superstars. She rolled my hair, put my lipstick on, in a glass of her boudoir.
Welcome everyone to another spectacular episode of Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond, connecting you to the most inspiring and amazing people that are thriving each and every day. I'm your host, Lou Diamond, and today on Thrive Loud, we have the Chief Sales Energizer. She is internationally known for her expertise in elevating sales to increase valuation for companies. Her passion is strategizing with CEOs and their sales leadership to build the strategies that find new business and grow existing accounts, because that's her passion. That's what she loves to do. She's the host of the popular podcast, Sales Talk for CEOs. She's simply awesome. That's the only way to put it. Thrive Loud listeners, I bring back to Thrive Loud, it's been a while, Alice Heiman. Alice, welcome back to Thrive.
Hey, thrilled to be here again. Just great to see you, and thank you so much for having me on the show.
What I love about Alice Heiman, listeners need to know, is that she knows her audience, she knows her topics, and she lives and breathes what she does each and every day, and is so focused and laser driven. It is one of the things that I aspire to, because I could sometimes be a little all over the place and do lots of different things. She's got her lane. She knows what she does. What I want to do is help the listeners bring a little bit up to speed. Some of them know who you are, some of them don't. So I want to do this little rewind. Let's focus on how this main focus of what you do became your gig and your main focus of what you do.
Well, in the beginning when I was with Miller Heiman, we did one thing, and one thing only. We introduced sales methodology through a 2-day training, and that methodology was specifically for the complex sale. So that was very targeted. And we worked with mostly Fortune 500 companies. And after that, when I left the company, when my dad and stepmom were getting ready to sell that company, I started out on my own. And although I had all of that methodology behind me and had been working with Fortune 500 companies, it was the .com time. And so all of these senior leaders who had been with these Fortune 500 companies had jumped ship and gone to these .coms, and they were, founders of these companies. And they called me and said, hey, can Miller Heiman help us? And I'm like, well, Miller Heiman doesn't do that. We only do one thing, right? And so, I said, but what do you want to do, right? And they told me, we need to start up a sales team from scratch. And so that's where I started working with the CEOs of closely held companies to work on their sales strategy and execute it and make things happen. And it grew over time. And I have always focused on the CEO, but probably like in the last 10 years, I narrowed down even further what I do. And, we always say that the niches, the riches are in the niches. And it is really so true. When you know who you speak to and when you work in your zone of genius every day, amazing things happen.
So true, and so important. And I want to hit this point, go right into the lane you know best. CEOs have a lot of interesting challenges today and play a lot of roles. And there's been an argument that the CEO should have nothing to do with the sales process, or the CEO is the best salesperson in that organization. Let's start with this. What's your take on that?
Right, Lou. I mean, I guess you could live on either side of that. Of course, you know which side I live on. And people have heard me say the CEO always has a role in sales, but that role will change as the company matures. So when you're a founder, you're doing founder-led sales. And that's really what most companies do. Now, some founders would rather not do the sales and they try to quickly hire someone to do it, but it's typically a failure. The founder needs to do the sales in the beginning, or the co-founders need to do it. It's imperative to the learning, the deep learning of that organization, and stabilizing it so that it can grow and then scale to the level that's needed. So there's just no question. When you're a founder, you're in sales. After that, as your company grows and matures, you will have a different role in sales. You may not be involved in the day-to-day of sales. And I think many CEOs are relieved to get out of that day-to-day, but they still have a critically important role. And even when the company is 20 years old and, millions and millions of dollars, the CEO still has a role. So it just depends where you are in your life cycle, what that role exactly is going to be. But I will tell you, the most successful CEOs in the world know that they have a very important role in sales with customers and prospects.
And I love how you prioritize that, because it's so important, because so often we forget how we think about the new business and the growth opportunities versus the ones who've helped us get there and where maybe the biggest growth opportunities are. Question for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to pause on that for a second, because finally I'm starting to hear much more talk about customer retention than I have ever before. And especially with earlier stage companies, especially under 5 years old, but even under 10 years old, it's always been about new logos, right? Land new logos. Well, that has not served a lot of companies because it is not sustainable and it's a quick road to failure in many respects. The cost of doing business is so high. Now, there is a point in certain types of companies in an early stage when it is a land grab, and that's really important. And the investors need you to do that, and I get it. But very quickly, that becomes unsustainable. And finally, the talk is, hey, it is more important to retain your customers and have successful customers. Successful, not just have customers. Have them successful using what you sold them. That will scale your business faster and more sustainably. So just had to say that because it's just such a pain point.
And let's hit pain points here. You're dealing with CEOs often and you work with them, sometimes one-on-one, sometimes in groups. And there's probably a common theme today that they're facing, specifically as it relates to the sale of their products or their offering. So many things are changing in every single, from business technologies to AI to different platforms to global unrest and everything that everyone deals with. CEOs deal with it all. Is there one common thread that you're seeing more often than not that's that pain point that they're all feeling that they need the most help with?
So to pare it down, the buyer is growing and advancing and changing faster than the sellers are, than the sales organization, than the sales strategy in any given company. So here we are, and the buyers are way over here, and we're still like back here. We are not keeping up. And so that is the pain point. And CEOs who are still driving sales the same way they drove it 20 years ago, some of them 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, it's not working. They're getting minimal results. And every report that keeps coming out, the Brooks Group, from Salesforce, Gartner, my good friend Barry Trailer, his company, everybody is like, wow, salespeople are not hitting their goals. Salespeople cannot make quota more than 50%. So that's a sad situation for so many reasons. But it is not necessarily the salesperson's fault. And what we have to realize as leaders is that we have not set these salespeople up to succeed in this current marketplace. That's the problem. Now, do all CEOs recognize this? No. Do their sales leaders recognize it? Maybe yes, maybe no. But too many people are just not moving fast enough into the way that buyers want to buy.
I like it. I want to hit this one because there's a real interesting take here. For those, we will put all the links to go check this out, because one of the cool things that Alice does is she does sales talk for CEOs, and she has an amazing list of leaders that she does on her podcast show, which means she asks them great questions. It's this area that I want to hit you with. When you're asking the questions of CEOs, specifically as to understanding where their biggest problems are, their challenges, or what are they fighting, when you're asking the questions, how many of them ever come back and say that they're part of the problem or that they need the help that they do? I know, because ego gets involved here a lot with some leaders. Have you been able to at least sense some empathy or some recognition of a lot of leaders today who become a little more self-aware in your conversations with them to say, you know what? I also have to change in certain ways. It isn't just my way or the highway. It's a holistic way of learning and connecting. I'd love to hear your take on that.
I think that some of them are keenly aware that they drive the strategy, they set the tone, they hold the vision, and that makes a big difference. And, in the end, right, they are responsible for sales. Whether their sales leaders succeed or fail, they are ultimately responsible. But I think at first, many of them don't recognize exactly how they might be preventing sales, right? And I always say, we got to look for those sales prevention departments. Where are they in your organization? Is it at the C level? So if they recognize that, some of the things I mentioned to them, oh yeah, that is me. Yep, that is me. That is me. That is me. Then I think we can make good headway, because it's the leaders do what you pay them to do, right? So the C-suite has laid out a plan, and the leaders do what you pay them to do, and the salespeople do what you pay them to do. So they may be doing the wrong things. They may be doing the right things, but in the wrong way. And that all of that may be preventing sales. Having a CEO who is keeping current and in touch with the customers to understand what they want and need and how they want to buy it and how they want to be addressed and approached, those CEOs are winning, right? And customers today want a team. They don't want to have to depend on one person who's there today and gone tomorrow. They want to know all of the players that they need to know inside of your company, especially when you're a smaller company, say under 100 million or even under 500 million, and you're selling to multi-billion-dollar companies. That's high risk when I, as a multi-billion-dollar company, buy from you, a small company under 500 million, right? That's a risk. And so I don't want to depend on one connection, right? Nor from the other side should the sellers depend on one connection. That's very weak. We need an entire team. And in some cases, the CEO is part of that team, but certainly some of the senior leaders, some subject matter experts, customer success, customer support, account managers, account executives, we have to build a team around our customers so that they can buy the way that they want to buy, and so that we can ensure their success. What's the point of having a customer who's just doing okay with we want them to be so successful that they would sing it from the mountaintop, and if we're not doing that, we're doing something wrong.
Alice, you have given a lot of gifts in your life, whether you know it or not. You've been helping leaders and executives thrive, the listeners that listen to your programs, the people that have read your books, the message that you deliver. This is something that you give to the world. Yet, a lot of these things that you create or stuff actually end up, in a weird way, giving a gift back to you. It's almost like a happy accident that happens from that. In the work that you're doing or the podcast that's out there, has there been a certain happy accident or gift that you've received from what you've been giving out there? It's almost like what you've been giving has given you something inside.
Every day. every day in every way. I get so much joy from what I do. It's hard to even explain. I feel so good at the end of the day after I've talked to my CEOs, whether it's been a hard day for them or a great day for them, when I've been able to contribute to getting them closer to what they want. When we're elevating their sales and that's moving towards increasing their valuation, it just gives me so much joy. I cannot even tell you. I run on that joy. It's like it's what powers me. So in everything I do every single day, I get that joy from helping all of these people and learning about them and connecting them with people and things and resources that they need. It's just kind of it's who I am. It's what I do, right?
Yeah, I love it. Which is why we like Alice so much, because we connect on that, on the connection part we do. All right, here's what I want to do. I want to go down Fun Street, but first I want to get the admin stuff out of the way with you. Share with the listeners all the places people can find you, websites, URLs, social handles, whatever you want to share. Things coming up. This episode's out in November, so they can all hear it from me in the notes, but it's much more better when they hear it from you.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I love to connect with people on LinkedIn, but please tell me in your connection message that you heard about me on Lou's show, because that will give you kind of special status. So as you can imagine, I get a lot of connection requests, but if it says, hey, met you on Lou's show, then you're in.
That's all you need.
Love that.
You're in.
Yeah, that's it. You're in. And then I would love to have you listen to my podcast, which is at salestalkforceos.biz, or just go to my website and hit that, or go to anywhere that you love to listen to your podcasts. And I'm there, Sales Talk for CEOs. And then if you want to get great insights on sales for CEOs into your inbox every week, then on my website, please subscribe and I will get those insights into your inbox.
I'm going to say this to all this. We have a lot of entrepreneurs. We have a lot of CEOs. We have a lot of high-level CEOs that work. You want to get access to this. Alice Heiman knows her stuff. She's got a level of guidance and a professionalism about it. So go check it out. You must check this stuff out. We will make sure we put all the links so they get all that. Okay. Ready for Fun Street? I see if you can tell by the smile on the video, folks. She's always smiling. She's got the great energy.
I'm ready for fun always. You know that, Lou.
This is so true. Okay. Share with me what maybe is, I'm going to flip the script on this a little bit. I don't want to talk about a favorite movie. What I want to do is I want to find out, is there a favorite like show that you're streaming, or something that's like one of those things you can't get enough of?
So here's what's so funny. Like, I'm not really a movie or TV watcher, but my husband is. And so I find myself kind of getting sucked in to these shows. And I like a lot of these series that are entertaining and sort of also educational in some way. Like what we're watching right now is Suits.
Oh,
and that's
so good.
And it's so good and so interesting, right? And I think, of course, there's a lot of drama in it and everything, but I think some of it's like just really true about the way people are when they're suing each other, or when legal things and contracts are going down. So, and I have some friends who are lawyers, so I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting, pretty fun. Plus the storyline, the through line is good. We just got done watching a series called Ballers, and I found that one fascinating because my husband, who knows a bit more about this than I do, about this professional sports and football, that these things are true, that these kids get more money than they've ever imagined in their wildest dreams, and that their friends are like suckers on them, just bleeding them dry from their money and making bad decisions, and that they really do need money managers. And I just found that realism, like you don't think about it. Oh, those poor guys, they make, $30 million a year. Yeah, some pretty bad stuff happens when you go from 0 to 30 million, right? Yeah. And I know that's not all football players, but it's just really interesting, when you think about, we get so trapped in our own little worlds, right? So I like shows that help me think about things differently, or learn about others and how they do things, right? So, so those those are a couple.
I like Ballers, by the way. Ballers is a good show. Suits is great. Suits is great because it's like been replayed up. I like your husband's taste in television. We're going to have to hang out. All right, we're going to do what we call the speakeasy pub crawl. It's like a speed round. We're going to hop through all the fun things that is your fun parts of your life, but they're easy for you to talk about. So all these things are the things that lift you up, make you feel good. Basically, they make you thrive. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
She's like nervous. I love it. I got Alice nervous. Okay, of late, a song that you love to hear, or maybe one that pumps you up.
Oh my gosh. That is so hard. Why can't I just don't remember songs very much. Like I can remember them, but not the name.
Maybe the artist. Is there an artist that you've been listening to? We can go that way.
Well, I guess for artists, I love to follow strong women who are great marketers because I learn so much from them. So I do love anything by Lady Gaga. Taylor Swift is just an amazing marketer. Madonna, she was like the original amazing woman marketer, right? So yeah, I like all of their songs. So I'll leave it at that.
I just learned that last night was the opening night for Taylor Swift's movie, which is filmed of her concert series. Supposedly, it's like 100 million in sales that people pre-orders to go for the opening. I think the opening we're recording this on a Friday. It's opening tonight. So go Taylor. Yeah, she's unbelievable. She's taken the lessons from all the women you just mentioned, Lady Gaga, Madonna, and others. She does it great.
And others really, but it's just so fun to watch how they market the whole. It's not just the beautiful voices and the music, of course, but it's the whole package that they put together. If you really study it, it's amazing.
Love it. Okay, a favorite food that is not a dessert.
Watermelon. Ooh. Maybe that is dessert, but it's my favorite food.
Well, if you couldn't have watermelon for dessert, what would your favorite dessert be?
Whoa, my favorite dessert be blueberry pie.
An activity you wish you did more of.
Oh gosh, so many. An activity I wish I'll pick skiing. I do ski, but I would love to ski more.
Love it. An activity you wish you did less of.
Answering emails.
I love it. A new activity to you, something you've recently tried that you liked so much, you want to tell everybody else to try it.
Gosh. Let me think. A new activity. I maybe need to go find a new activity because I'm not thinking of one that.
So, by the way, I had a guest. We had a guest on the program whose answer to that question was to find more time thinking of new activities that I should be doing. That would be the new activity that they should do.
And I was even thinking about that recently about having more little mini adventures. Like we do go on a lot of adventures and I love it. I was just on an adventure with my 4 boys and their girls and it was amazing. And I think I need to now obviously put that on my list of things to do is think of more new things to do.
I like it. If I could snap my fingers and Alice Heiman could be anywhere in the world, where is she?
Oh gosh, probably in the British Virgin Islands, on the beach in front of Indigo Beach House, which is my favorite little bar restaurant. And of course, I can't remember the name of the island that it's on at this moment in time, but yeah, that's where I would be.
Alice Heiman, everybody check it out. Sales Talk for CEOs. She is the guru that we need to always be connecting with, who loves what she does. Hey, thank you so much for coming on the program, Alice. Great to connect with you here.
Oh, thank you, Lou.
To all our listeners out there, thank you for joining us. And until next time, keep moving onward and upward. And remember, be brief, be bright, be gone.
You've been listening to Thrive Loud with your host, Lou Diamond. Check us out on the web at thriveloud.com and follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at Thrive Loud. And check us out on the Good Pods app at Thrive Loud, where you can follow, listen, and connect directly to Lou and all of the Thrive Loud episodes. Thanks for listening.